Hello. So in this lesson we want to spend some time on writing your own procedures. These procedures have been created by double-clicking on the button which have been added onto the form. So you know what this program does. It prints the heading and then a number of times table. So you enter number 3 and it prints the 3 times table. In our previous video we called the function 3 times. I'm going to delete that now so that I only call it once. As a matter of fact, I don't want to call it at all in this case. And I want to use a procedure so that I can find out how many times the run button has been clicked. So I use a procedure because a procedure doesn't return anything back to the calling statement. We wrote a function above the calling procedure or function, and we must do the same with a procedure. This is the one, the button run click procedure is the one that will call my procedure. So above it, I'm going to write procedure, and I'm going to call it count click, and it does not have a data type. So procedure count click and begin and end. And I'm going to put some code in here that I can call repeatedly. And the code that I want to call is to have a variable that must increase every time the button is clicked, but it needs to be initialized first. So therefore it has to be a global variable. Let's go up to the top and create a global variable called click count, integer. So I have a click count as a variable and count click as a procedure. Now where will we initialize a global variable? Well, typically this should be on the form. And so select the form on the left hand side, and we don't go to properties, we go to events and we go to on activate and double click there, and this is the place where I click count, where I initialize my global variable. Let's just make sure that that's the right name. My global variable is called click count, and I've just initialized it. Great. So my procedure count click can now change the value of click count. So click count equals click count plus 1. So I have a procedure that whenever this procedure is called, I wrote it, it doesn't belong to the form, there's no form in front of it, as there is with, for instance, the button run click procedure. So whenever this one is called, the global variable click count will increase in value. So now I must call it. Well, here I have that already. So readout.lines.add number of string into string click count. So this will display click count, but count click has not been called yet. So how do I call a procedure? I call a procedure by writing its name on its own. Count click semicolon, yes. So that is how you call a procedure, because it doesn't return anything. It merely does whatever's in the procedure. Now let's see how many errors I made. So compile. It seems I've made no errors. Click on run. Enter a number. I like 5. So there it displays the 5 times table. And you can see here at the bottom, the number of clicks on the run button has been 1. So if I click on it again, and let's make it the 2 times table now, and I scroll down, I can now see the number of clicks on the run button has been 2. So let's click on it again and print the 9 times table and scroll down. So I have effectively used a procedure to increase the global variable so that I can count how many times a button has been clicked. Now, even though our count click procedure has only 1 line of code, using procedures with lots of lines of code is very useful.